because optics are like girlfriends. You choose the wrong one and you could be asking yourself for a lot of trouble. Now, do I think right up front Vortex is a combat optic? No, but that's really not what they're built for right now, because combat optics go through a completely different testing process, and they're going to have to endure things that most civilians, in fact, I would probably say almost every civilian is really never gonna have to deal with. The amount of impacts that they might take, or the concussion that they're gonna take, and the flat out abuse that a combat optic is gonna take is probably not something that anybody is really gonna put this through in a civilian setting. Now, that being said, I do know a lot of guys that use these for law enforcement use, security use, and just a heck of a lot of fun use like this one is gonna be right here. Now, is it the end all be all of optics or Vortex as a company? No, but is it a company that I'm willing to trust and put on weapons that I may have to use in self-defense? Absolutely. I want to say I got my first Vortex optic probably about 7 or 8 years ago, and it was our StrikeFire, and I was a little bit iffy because they're pretty dang affordable, but I still have it. And then I've got some Spark 2s and I got some StrikeFire 2s, and now I got this Crossfire. And what kind of turned me on to the Crossfire was that we're actually using these at a place where I work right now on some 40mm launchers, and they get abused regularly, daily, and they're holding up, they're holding zero, and we're not having any failures. Now that speaks a lot, because I wanna say right now as of filming this video that these optics are like under 150 bucks still or something like that. Now that is extremely affordable for what you're getting, out of this optic. Now, if you're one of those like smooth operator type guys and you need night vision, you got your quads going and all that stuff, this may not be the optic for you, but for the rest of us out there, it's probably something that's worth looking into. So I'm gonna get into this thing, we're gonna check it out, go over all the specs, and I'm kind of gonna, go over, would I do this again? Would I buy this again? Would I put it on a rifle for work? And kind of where I lie with these optics in general, because I got a lot of plans to do some different things with Vortex, because I really do like what they put out. I like their lifetime warranty, and I really like that their optics have been proven pretty dang durable. So if you guys like what's going on here with the channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. But we're gonna go ahead and get into this Vortex Crossfire right now. Okay, we're gonna talk about this Crossfire here. So we'll go through what we get in the box first. So right now, mounted on the gun, just so you guys know, I have the high-rise mount. So this is gonna give you a lower 1/3 co-witness. What that means is if you have flip-up sights, your dot's gonna be in a lower 1/3 for your co-witness. You're gonna get your manual here, guys, pretty basic stuff in there. You're gonna get a nice microfiber to clean the lens with, and basic explanations on what to do with your optic here as far as zero and everything else. You get a couple of different bags in here, guys. You will get a couple of different screws for your mounting, and you will get your Torx wrench, and then you will get this low mount. So this would be the mount that you would use if you want an absolute co-witness. I wanted the high mount on there because for my eye relief and way I'm setting this up, that's what I wanted, because I'm not going to run backup iron sights. I'm going to be relying on this optic in total. So let's go ahead and get rid of the box, guys, because I know that you guys don't want to stare at it any longer, so goodbye. All right, now the optic itself, just give you guys a nice up close look at it. Really nicely subdued logo right in there, you guys can see, very well done. Hard anodized coated, you got the little Vortex logo down there. And here on this side is gonna be your on-off switch, battery compartment, and your adjustment. So these are 1 MOA adjustments. What that means is that it's 1 inch at 100 yards basically, so you guys understand that. And then you've got your little Vortex insignia across the top, very tastefully done. They've done a good job there. Rubberized cover. When you guys have had different kind of hunting scopes over the years, these are very, very common. We'll go ahead and ditch that for now so you guys get the full look of that optic. So that's about the midpoint of the upper receiver, and that's where I would run my optic if I'm gonna run or not run iron sights. That's just kind of where my eye fits. Now, some people run it further forward, some people run it further back. All personal preference, guys. Because the coating does make a difference in the optic, as you'll kind of see, you get that little reflective orangish kind of red color on that. Now, what that is that, and then on the back, it's almost a little bit of an aqua color. You can see right there. So what that does is that actually helps the reticle illuminate in there and keeps it very crisp and very clear.
Now there is a tiny bit of parallax, the absolute smallest amount of parallax, which is actually considered parallax free. Now, if you guys don't know what parallax is, I will explain it to you. That basically means that as your dot is downrange, say your dot's right here, if your eye is moving like this, that dot is not going to move off target. So wherever that dot is, as long as it's on the target, that is where the bullet is going to hit. That's what parallax free means. There is a more scientific explanation of it, but that's the basics of it. So as you can see here, got that high-rise mount on there. It's actually very, very nice. It's coated very well. It looks good on there. Gives you a good sight path through there if you've got some really low sights, like on my Rugers, actually, both the 1022 and the PC9, I can actually visually acquire the sights through that little hole right there. So that's kind of nice that that worked out that way, because I really like this. So you'll never forget your battery type, guys, because it's labeled right there, CR2032, which is a very common battery now. You've got your on-off switch right here. So you've got 11 settings. However, you can't just go from 0 to the brightest setting. It doesn't let you. You have to go all the way through. Now on setting 5, the manual says, so that would be 5, right? So very flush, very clean, very, very small, guys. I will go ahead and kind of read you some of the specs on this. I'm going to read to you right off of the Vortex website so you guys know what everything here is. So this is nitrogen purged, guys. So what that means is they've purged this with a gas to make sure that it's absolutely good to go. There's nothing in there, no dust particulates, anything like that. And that's going to help keep that thing clear forever. We are 2 MOA on this optic, guys. Little bit of a small red dot, but that is what I'm looking for when I'm looking for an optic like this. I don't want a really big red dot in there because I'm using a rifle and I'm probably going to be at a decent distance. So I want a little bit of a smaller dot, and then I'm just going to crank that brightness all the way up. 1 MOA adjustments, like we talked about. So it's 2.5 inches long, weighs 5.2 ounces. That is not bad. There is no magnification on it. It's about 1.1 inches on your reticles right there. So not bad, guys. Very, very good. Like I said, this mount right here is set up for that lower 1/3 co-witness, like I explained. Not an absolute, so it wouldn't be dead center through the optic. The lower 1/3 is going to be in that lower portion of your optic. These are definitely made for ARs. They're made for shotguns. They're made for everything like that, so it's definitely good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to actually take this off because I really want to give you a look through the optic and kind of show you what that dot looks like. All right, so I went ahead and just took this off so we can take a really good look at this thing up close. So like I said, that is the high mount right there for a lower 1/3 co-witness. So definitely nice, skeletonized, saves some weight. And there's that coating. You guys can kind of see how that reflective coating works. And then you can actually see right down there, you can actually see where the light diode is right there in the corner. That's that little mark inside there. So what do I mean by, you know, changing color and changing parallax? So you can see when I move my hand through here, you can see that it is a little bit of a kind of a bluish green hue through the lens. Now that's because of that coating and the purging that goes on in there. And that is a proprietary coating to Vortex. But they do that because it gives the optimum amount of show on that actual red dot in there. So go ahead and we'll cycle through the power settings here. I'm just going to go all the way up at first, guys, so you can really see that dot. And it's going to be very blown out on camera, but trust me, it's not that big in person. So I get the camera to kind of focus a little bit better and you will be able to see it. And then we're going to cycle down here and you kind of see the settings. And once we get to a certain point, then the camera is going to want to give out because of how bright everything is. But you can still see that light. Let me get something darker behind it. You can still see that laser pretty dang good right there. And then we're all the way off. So definitely not the brightest optic in the world, but again, we're working in a very bright area here because of the camera lights. But you can see that's pretty much the setting I'm going to leave it on anyways, guys, because I want it cranked up as high as possible. But a nice crisp red dot in there. So definitely good stuff, guys. Works quite well. And again, to explain to you guys that parallax. So basically what parallax is, like I already kind of said, when you have that red dot on your target, no matter where you move your eye, okay, you see how that red dot is still on the magazine, which is the target, even though I'm moving the optic actually around, but it's staying there. That's what parallax is. So basically, as long as that dot is on target and you are zeroed, you're gonna hit it. So good stuff here, guys. I really like this optic. I definitely think I'm gonna be going with some more of these. So we're gonna go ahead and get back up into the chair and we will finish this up.
Now that is just a lot of optic for the money. At that price range, it is really hard to beat not only the quality of the Vortex name, but that warranty that comes with it. Now, would I strap this on a rifle and send it off to war? Probably not, because there is a different expectation of what's going to happen to that optic in a theater such as that. And I don't think that a lot of people differentiate between the two. Now, this is definitely something that I think is like law enforcement ready, definitely the civilian sector, security sector, or just out there having some good fun on the range. And like I said, for those of us that are building something like this for a truck gun, or just to go out and have fun with, I really think this is an outstanding option. That price point, really tough to beat. And if you like what's going on with the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. It's a little darker because my light went out and I'm not gonna stop filming the video. You guys get out there and have some fun with your projects, and I will see you guys on the next one.